Good evening. Welcome to Information Please, your Peoria Public Library on the air. My name is Alice Jackson. I'm manager of the programming department, and here tonight with me I have Jamie from Goodwill. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So, Goodwill. Tell me about Goodwill. I know I've dropped things off there before. My my clothes that I'm not using anymore. But what exactly happens once we drop things off and once things are sold in your store? Then what happens after that?
Well, all of the donations are what makes Goodwill able to serve our community.
Mm-hmm.
Once you drop it off at Goodwill, it goes through the sorting process. And then every time that someone buys something from Goodwill, it really supports all of our programs that we have.
Okay.
And that's how we fund all of the learning, communications, the computers,
Okay.
the stuff that we need. That's where the money goes.
Yeah, you're
so
completely funded by donations.
Yes,
yeah.
we are. So every donation definitely counts,
Okay.
so that we can serve the community.
Okay, great. So you have this new program, and it's called Beyond Jobs,
Yes.
and it's for women specifically.
Yes.
You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. Right now, due to the economy, women are struggling to get back their employment. All the women that were laid off, and even the women that are fresh out of college, women that have been homemakers, all sorts of women are struggling to find employment, and they don't know why. I submit my application, I submit my resume, and I never hear anything back.
Oh gosh.
And I know the feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
So they developed this program. It used to be just for single moms, but now they've expanded it to women that are either underemployed or unemployed. And underemployed means that they're working 30 hours a week or less.
Okay.
So if they're working part-time basically, but they want to advance their career and or move up full-time.
Okay.
So if they're in that situation, they can contact us and we start the process with them.
Okay. So how does a woman get into the program? What should they expect once they get signed up?
They just call us.
Okay.
Okay, and tell them that they want to enroll in the Beyond Jobs program. And at that point, we would set a date for them to come in, and they would be meeting, first they would meet with Brenda Wilder, and we do the intake process where you fill out all the paperwork. We get to know you and who you are, what you're looking for, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what your goals are, and some of them, have a lot of obstacles. So we start with those obstacles. What have you been doing to apply for a job? How long have you been off work and why? What can we do to get past this?
Okay.
It usually starts with the resume, getting that done.
Okay.
What they want to do. I have a lot of contacts with different employers within the community, though I'm still looking for more employers, definitely, that want to participate in this program, because there are a lot of benefits for the employer as well. So the women come to us, just call us, they come in, we get them signed up, and we start the process. We have open lab on Tuesday and Thursday mornings where they can come in, and sometimes we have employers come visit us, tell them about their company. We also work with our veterans program, because we do these same employment services for our veterans as well. We get together, we have class on how to build your resume. You should have multiple resumes. A lot of people don't know that, and there's so many little tricks to resumes that you don't see, and that's why they're not getting called back for the job.
Yeah.
If they need clothing, we partner with Dress for Success. So we can send them there, or Goodwill, or anything, depending on what their needs are. And then, of course, the interview process. We drill that into them, go over all the tricks and the do's and the don'ts of the interview process. Those are the big starting points.
Okay. Okay. So, do people need to be referred to you, or just anyone can come in?
Anyone.
Okay. So it's open to anybody with
Any
with the unemployed or underemployed.
Correct.
Basically. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what if there's someone? Well, I guess that would kind of fit into that. If you have someone that is in a job but looking for something better,
Correct.
then that kind of fits into the underemployed, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, how do you encourage these women that have been out of work for so long? I mean, how does that come up?
Well,
that's a tough.
That one is a tough one.
Yeah.
If they haven't worked in a long time, what we do is we we say, well, have you worked at all? Where was that? What do you enjoy? It always starts with, you know, we look at your education and your work skills and say, okay, well, you know, we give them a computer test and a personality assessment. Okay, the personality assessment is like, you know, do you agree or disagree type thing. A lot of employers use that now. And then at the end, it prints out a report that says, well, it looks like you're a people person, or it looks like you're the decision maker. And so we take that, and then it also shows what you need to work on as well.
Okay.
Like, here's your weaknesses, and then, you know, and it's pretty accurate usually. And we kind of go over it with them, like, do you agree with this, you know? And so we start with that as far as the personality and the type of job that they may be interested in. And then we also give them, if they're looking for clerical work, of course, we say, well, what are your computer skills?
Yeah.
And this is a benefit for the employers as well, because we actually test them on the computers. We test them on typing, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint.
Okay.
And I tell the women, it does not matter. If you don't have any computer skills, that's fine. We just want to see what you know and what you don't know. And from there, we offer free computer classes that you can take during our lab hours or in the evenings.
Okay.
With our computer instructor. He's on site there with us, and he does a great job. So once they complete the computer courses, we'll say, okay, we're going to add that to your resume now, because that's a huge thing that you need.
Oh,
you know,
yeah. Every employer is looking for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And so once they're at that point, you know, where they feel more confident and they have some skills now, we also have some Skillsoft courses that they can take online.
Okay.
And I think there's like 3,000 courses in that book that they can take.
Okay.
So, you know, if they feel like, well, I just don't have the skills to do this or that, we're like, well, let's get them, you know.
Yeah.
So we help them with that. We give them, everything's free, of course. So we kind of map them out a little plan of action and say, let's sign you up for this class, and we'll go from there. And then we retest them again at the end and say, okay, now look at the difference.
Yeah.
And now you have those skills.
Yeah.
So
it's
you know,
not
and
just,
that kind of builds their confidence
definitely.
up,
I was just
too.
going to say, it's like a big pep talk, getting them back into.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's kind of a shoulder to lean on type of thing, because it's so overwhelming out there, you know, for women. Because, you know, a lot of women right now, they're the head of household. They have to, you know, support
take care
themselves.
of the kids as well as.
Exactly. You know, and if they're having, you know, childcare issues or, you know, transportation issues, you know, we don't provide those per se, but we can, you know, kind of help them where to reach out to and
Partner with
help
others.
them get the, you know, what they need to help with that.
Okay. Okay. So once the women then go and interview for the different jobs or for a job, and they land that job, then can they come back to you for any other support, or what happens then? Okay.
Yes, they actually that is part of the program.
Okay.
That after they do gain employment, for the first week, I'm always, you know, like, how's it going? You know, I tell them to contact me, but of course I contact them. And, you know, because we want to make sure that they're happy, and if there's something wrong, something that they're not picking up on or they're struggling with, I want to be able to fix that. You know, we want to get the phone call, hey, something's going wrong, rather than, hey, I just walked out of my job. You know, and again, it's a benefit for the employer, because we, you know, this is a grant-funded program, and so part of that grant is to stick with these employees, and, you know, it's for retention, you know, so that they are on the job and they're doing a good job, and if there's anything that we need or they need, that we're here for them. Once they're in the program, we stick with them during their own.
That's good. That's really good. The follow through. That's really great.
Yeah.
So what employers in the community, you mentioned that you do work with a few. Can you name some of those?
Yeah.
Or is that okay?
Green Diamond Apartments. They've hired a leasing agent, and I just touched base with them the other day, and they said, you know, the employer was like, you know, this has worked out great. It saved me from having to go through resumes and background checks, because that's the other thing we do is a background check when they come in. And if they have something on the background, it's not like there's very, very few things that we would turn them down. We do accept them, but at least the employer knows that they have a background. Some employers may be okay with it, some no.
And then
either way, I'll say, well, this is their background. So if that's, I won't even have them apply if that's not you know, an option.
Okay.
So anyway, he was like, you know, I didn't have to do the background checks, which they eventually will, but at least they are kind of pre-screened. And she's worked out great. And so I went to her, and she goes, I absolutely love my job. Thank you so much. I mean, she's just thrilled. And one of the newer ones is All Around the House. They called us an urgent need for an office coordinator. And so I went through all of my resumes and I talked to them, the employer, what are you looking for, full-time, part-time? They just gave me a list of what they were looking for, and I went through and I narrowed it down to like 4 women. I contacted those women, and from there, he interviewed them and got the perfect one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so he seems happy, and she seems happy, and
That's-
and that's a newer one, so I will continue to follow up with those. And there's a few others, but those are just a couple examples.
Okay, all right. So a wide mix of things and different businesses. Okay, but you are always looking for more, you said.
Oh, yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. The employers, are, when I talk to them about it, they're pretty on track. Of course, they're going to have to, conduct their own interviews and stuff. And I tell the women that, I'm like, you have to be prepared because, every job is going to want to interview themselves. I can't just say, here's perfect
Yeah,
question.
take this person.
Yeah, take my word for it.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely, it's easier because they are pre-screened, and I know what the employee or the participant wants, and I know what the employer wants, and so we just kind of play matchmaker.
That's really good. That's really great, helping both ends of things.
Yes, and with the bigger companies, like Caterpillar and OSF, those companies are so large, but I do have a contact person there just to say, FYI, someone's going to apply for this job, just so that they are pre-screened, and it also gives our participants someone to follow up with.
Okay.
Because if you submit an application or resume, it's always good to have someone to be able to follow up with. Say, I just want to check the status of my application, or make sure that they've received it, or if they have any questions, that they have a contact person. Because if you don't have a contact person, you send an email, but you don't even know where it's going. And,
No, especially
and
with those
so-
larger companies.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And so that's where we try to help out too, and just kind of help take the stress off of where do I go, what do I do,
Especially
so-
having been out of the workforce for a while,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, that can be horrible.
Yep.
Well, that's
Yeah,
really great.
so-
I was going to say something and ask you something you triggered, and now I can't remember, of course.
Oh, that's okay.
So you work with several different types of businesses. It sounds like. I mean, a
Yes.
little bit of everything,
A little
office
bit of
work
everything.
and other things as well. Okay.
Yes, because honestly, we have, between our women and our veterans, I mean, we also have forklift classes at Goodwill as well. So, I mean, if an employer calls us for either a housekeeping job, a janitorial job, a landscaping job, I also have women with their master's degrees in
wow.
medical field. We have medical coders, we have administrative assistants. I mean, marketing, someone that actually own their own business. So there's just a wide range, very wide.
Yeah.
From entry level on up to
On up.
like a director's position.
Wow.
Even even mayors who had come in. So yeah.
It's sad. I mean, because of that's the situation that
Yeah.
is out there. But it's great that you have this service that you can help out a wide variety of people like that. I mean, I don't know of any other service like this that helps such a wide range of people.
Right.
I think
yeah.
that's
So
very
well,
unique.
that's our goal.
Yeah.
It's grant funded through the Walmart Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of 49 Goodwills throughout the country that's piloting this. It's a newer program, so it's just now really getting off and running, but it seems to be going really smooth, and our goal is to really put the word out there and help wherever we can, and then if by chance we can't help them for one reason or another, we will find someone, that may
who
be
to
able
work
to help
with.
them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's really.
'cause I work real close too with the IDES, Illinois Department of Employment Security. So we can help out, with people down there that are struggling as well.
Okay.
So
Well, and
they have a lot of resources.
One of the questions I was going to ask you is, what makes this program unique? But you've just laid it all out there. Definitely, it's the wide range and
Yes, and the retention and the follow up. I think.
Yeah.
We partner with our staffing agencies around town too, because sometimes that's a way to get the foot in the door and everything, and so it becomes kind of just, and it's also a good networking tool with the women that come in. They've made good friends, when they're in class, and they realize that they're not the only one.
Right.
And me being the employment specialist for this program is a great feeling for me because I've been there. I was laid off twice. And, and so I really do know the feeling, and I feel their pain, and I want to help them. I truly do.
Yeah.
And those that are, the women that have been successful are the ones that come in and really are adamant about doing the program. I mean, they have to come in with a positive attitude.
They have to be dedicated.
They have to realize, you know, they're not here because they have to be. They're there because they want to be. You know, and so when the employers, on that same note, when the employers ask, well, are these women really, you know, adamant about a good job? I'm like, they wouldn't be here if they didn't want this job.
Right.
You know, and so we kind of serve as a reference for them.
Well, and also with that, then the people, when they come to you, they sign up, they get involved with the classes, they get involved with doing all the practice interviews and everything else. Is there ever a time when you have a person that just says, I can't do it, I have to, oh, that's too bad,
Yeah,
that's too
we
bad.
do.
But, yeah, but at least they've tried, I
Yes,
guess.
but I mean that doesn't happen too often,
Good to
and
hear.
those
Good to hear.
that have done it have ended up coming back because they do get frustrated. You know, this is not a program where we find you a job. We
Yes.
help you find a job.
Good.
Okay,
good,
we don't make any promises to anyone, but if you come in and you really focus, you know, we try to teach you a lot of soft skills because soft skills are major. And
Yeah.
people are, you know, the most thing I hear from women is, well, I've never done that before, so I don't think that job's right for me. You know, they've never, you know, had a housekeeping job or whatever. And I'm like, do you clean your house? do you, you know, there's
Yeah.
things that they don't think of. That there's a difference between having experience and having the skills. You know, if you're a homemaker, that's a job in itself.
Yes.
I mean, if you are been a stay-at-home wife for a long time, you've done a lot of things. So
That you may not realize
and so,
that, yeah.
And you know, and so we pull out like their strengths. You know, look, you know, and who's your motivation, and look at, you know, we try to give them a different perspective on things because they're so discouraged out there. And so if anything, you can just come back to us. You know, it becomes it just becomes kind of a little.
Definitely a
session.
networking.
Yeah, networking and you know, someone to lean on.
That's good.
When times
That's,
are tough.
Yeah, that's really good because sometimes you need that more than anything.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yes, you do, because you get, you know, where you just want to give up. And, you know,
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah, keep
You know,
going.
Let's keep going. So those that stick with it and really come back in and keep trying, you know, we've had women walk in, sign up for the program, and the next day they got a job.
That's awesome.
You know, but I honestly think it was because they got so motivated when they came in.
Yeah.
You know, that they left there and they're like, I can do it. You know,
Yeah.
it sometimes it's just a little, you know. And some women,
need that push.
they're wanting to wait, you know, until they're done with their computer classes or whatever, and then they'll apply for jobs, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay, so you mentioned the computer classes, and I know you're kind of in a temporary location, getting ready to move into your new place.
Yes.
But, so where are your computer classes held right now?
Right now, our address is 8400 North Allen Road.
Okay.
It's out kind of near Walmart, about in half a mile before Walmart, next to Maui Gym, in the Klaus Radio Building.
Yes, okay.
So that's where we are for another couple weeks, but then we'll be back on War Memorial.
Okay.
The big Goodwill that's right before you go across the bridge.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And will you have just one lab there, or do you have multiple
We're
labs?
gonna have multiple labs.
Okay.
It's gonna be. We're not allowed to see it yet because it'll be a big surprise for us.
Okay.
But you know, we've seen kind of the computer generated, you know, images of what it's
Okay.
going to look like, and we're all really excited because it's going to bring in a lot more room for the community to come in and be able to sit down and you know, use the computers and have the lounge area and more office space for us to be able to conduct more training and
Definitely.
So
Okay.
yeah,
That's
it's-
great. That's really great. You'll have all that extra space and places to
Yeah.
interview and meet with people. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and plus we like to have employers and stuff come in and visit us too, and so yeah, we're excited.
You excited about that new
Yeah.
place, yeah.
Yes, we
well,
are.
one thing I know that we've kind of mentioned before is we have a couple databases that are through the library's website that maybe you can direct some of your clients to.
Yes.
We have a Testing and Education Resource Center, which is available on our website, either in the library or at home. You can go on there and you can take all different kinds of tests, everything from practice tests, from everything from GED to professional grad class or grad program testing to police exams. So that's something that I know has been mentioned to you.
Yes.
Then we also have another program called Job Now, and that is it's all on a whiteboard, kind of a chat system, and that's again another database that's through our website, can be used in the library or at home. And that one does practice interviews and some other resume skills and things like that that I know someone has mentioned to you a couple times to use.
And that's what I definitely plan on utilizing that.
Yeah.
I just learned about that recently, and because we do utilize the library so much with our participants, and because not everyone has a computer at home, and not everyone can make it up to our office during office hours, and so I always say go to the library, go to the library, and there's so many different locations of your guys' libraries too, and also and I'm happy to go to those libraries if they call me up and say, you know, I can't make it all the way out to Goodwill today, but there's a library near me. I'm more than happy to go out there and
we've got meeting room spaces at all the locations that you could schedule time in to use those and meet with clients either as a group or one-on-one, whatever you would want to do.
Yeah.
And then I know we talked about we have a couple computer labs that if you would want to hold a class at one of our labs, you could do that as well.
Yes,
depending on.
And I think that Brenda has been doing that downtown a couple times.
Yep,
and it's
she
worked,
has.
Yeah, and it's worked out great.
Yeah.
So, because it's not just Peoria, it's Peoria and the surrounding areas. So.
Yeah, and we're open to everybody, so we welcome everybody.
Yes, so that's great.
So it's just you and one other person that run all of this?
Well, you know, I'm the one that kind of gets out in the community and does a lot of stuff, and then Brenda, she's the program manager. She's in the office, you know, making sure everything's going the way it should, and she does all the intakes with the participants, and I'm in the office a lot too. It's just kind of a, you know, hit and miss. If there's something going on, I like to go out and network and meet with people, and if someone can't come to me, I'll go meet with them. And but we also have you know, the veterans program. We work together.
Right.
So when he's having resume class, we join in with them.
Okay.
So you know, we help each other out.
Okay. Okay. So your Beyond Jobs for the Women is technically separate from the veterans program, but you do a lot of overlapping.
Correct.
And training together and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, like when if I have an employer that I talk to that wants to come in, I'll come back to the office and I'll say, hey, this employer is coming in on this day, and I'm like, oh great, and so he'll spread the word to his veterans, and our women and veterans, we just kind of do it together and help out, because the veterans have been doing it for quite a while, and
right.
So there are.
So to touch on that, to like kind of segue into that just a little bit, the veterans program is very similar. It mirrors as far as interviewing and the intake and everything else. So who should veterans contact for that?
They can contact Logan Cole or Joanna Wagner, sorry, and they could just call that number, actually, and there's several people. Okay. So they can just call that number and ask for the Veterans Department. Okay,
all right. But it basically, like we talked about before, it pretty much mirrors the same type of things as far as going through the intake, as far as testing them and seeing where their skills are and matching them up and seeing what computer classes or other things they need to do.
Yes.
It's just, like we said, geared more towards a veteran than specifically towards women.
Yes, because if they're in the military for so long and then they get back here and they're like, now what do I do?
Now what's up? What do I do? Oh gosh.
So same kind of concept. So that's,
So we talked about how this is funded through the Walmart.
Ours is. Yes.
Okay, and the Beyond Jobs part of it is, not the veterans part. So how long has it been in place? Tell me again.
Well, we started rolling it out, and we didn't start advertising it until February.
Oh, okay.
I came in on this program in January, but on paper it started like in November.
Okay.
but it hadn't really rolled out yet, though.
Okay.
But it is up and rolling full force now.
Yeah, and it is fresh. It's brand new, fresh, and you guys are ready to get out there and help everybody.
Yeah, we really are.
So do you have any stats as far as how many people have gotten jobs and that kind of thing? Is that something you would want to share?
Yeah, for the last few months now that we've been up and running, we've have over 100 intakes. We have, I think, 33 placed.
Wow.
And we have a majority of them all enrolled in the computer classes and interviewing at this moment. So
that is great.
Yes.
That is really great. Well, it's success right there.
Yeah.
So hopefully this grant funding keeps going and you can keep the program going.
Yeah, we hope to.
Is it a you have to reply every year type of a thing?
This one is a 2-year one, so we're good for 2 years. I mean, of course, we have to meet certain guidelines.
Of course.
But that's not a problem So, and I don't know after that if we'll hopefully be able to take on the program ourselves because it is such a good program.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But
It's a kind of a wait and see kind of a thing. Well,
but it's such a good program that
yeah.
I'm hopeful that it'll, after 2 years, it'll still keep going.
Well, it sounds like it's been a success so far, so I
Yeah.
can't imagine that they wouldn't. Well,
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
well, I really appreciate you coming to talk to me tonight.
No problem.
And we have information about both the Beyond Jobs for Women and about the veterans, and then about your learning centers with your labs and whatnot
Yeah.
at all of our libraries. So if people stop in, we can hand out a flyer to them.
Yeah, definitely. And if they have any questions, like I said, they're more than welcome to call the number and they'll direct you to whatever department you want, whether it's women, youth, we have youth mentoring,
Oh, great.
The veterans and us. So,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate Jamie coming in and sharing all this information with us. We will see you again next week on Information Please. And in the meantime, you can visit us at www.peoriapubliclibrary.org and see everything we have going on. Thank you and have a good evening.